Good evening. This is Maestro with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today, we have a 1v1 on Ashes of Typhon. Our first player is going to be Val.Hero, otherwise known as Dark Hero, playing as the Plague Champion. Ranged Chaos Hero with a damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, can also heal and repair. His opponent is going to be Toilailee, or is it Toilailee? I was never actually that clear on the pronunciation of this name. Sometimes in frustration, people just call him Toilet because, you know, it looks kind of like that. And he is playing as the Lord General. This is a squad-based Imperial Guard hero, can reinforce out on the field, has a lot of defensive buffs. So then, obviously, it's been a little while. Things have been happening in my life. As some of you know, had a little bit of a rough time in my career. And then at the start of the academic year, since I am a teacher, I did not get a contract to teach, but I got what's called a long-term subbing position, which basically means you do the exact same job as a teacher on much less pay. In my case, about half as much pay. Did have a bit of an upswing, though, where just this month I did actually manage to secure a contract to teach for the rest of the academic year, which basically meant that my salary doubled overnight, which is great. That being said, I've been very, very busy. It's a rather intense job, and switching over to a different school and a different grade in the middle of the school year is quite an adjustment. It requires a lot of adaptation on my part. So, been a little busy. That being said, we've got a game actually happening here. For those of you who care about Dawn of War and not as much about my life. Two of my all-time favorite players, Val.Hero being newer, relatively speaking. In truth, he's actually been playing this game for many years and is extremely good at it. Toilailee, on the other hand, someone who's been playing for like a literal decade, so he's a little bit more old school than Val.Hero, just also one of my favorite players, known in particular actually for his Imperial Guard and even Lord General play. He doesn't always play it, he often gets blamed for it, because there have been certain times in the history of the game when the Imperial Guard, and particularly the Sentinel, was incredibly oppressive. And Toilailee is kind of one of the best all-time players at oppressing people with Sentinels. Sentinel known for being the only Tier 1 vehicle in the game, so it has the advantages of being a vehicle, which means that it can tank damage, take damage without bleeding. Of course, though, it can't retreat, and you do have to worry about if it does actually get killed, you're in a pretty rough spot. So normally in several casts in the past, I've kind of talked about how in general I feel the Sentinel in Tier 1 is a bit stronger against Chaos than it is against most other races, because you generally have lower range DPS coming out of basically the Chaos early game compared to many other races. However, if there is an exception to this, or a hero who suffers from this the least, it is the Plague Champion. Since he is himself a ranged hero, you can do decent range damage with him without having to get an upgrade, unlike, say, the Chaos Lord. And double Chaos Space Marine builds tend to be more viable with him in 1v1 than it is for other Chaos commanders, in part because of the Nurgle worship. That being said, Toilailee is still being oppressive. Even in 2020, Toilailee is oppressing people with Sentinels. He's only got the one Sentinel, but I mean, he's literally pushing Val.Hero back into his base with a smaller army. Catachan Devil's doing some work right there. They're a little low. I think I want to see them back up, but instead they're just going to go in even more. I said I wanted to see them back up because, you know, up until I started saying I want to see them back up, they hadn't lost any models, and I know that Toilailee has the Sergeant... Okay, he had the Sergeant Retinue member. Looks like it's already been killed in combat, but there was a time when we actually saw a heal go off on the Catachan Devils. And that heal does come from the Sergeant Retinue member on the Lord General. Unfortunately for Toilailee, he's going to need to get that Sergeant Retinue member back if he wants to continue that playstyle. Meanwhile, Val.Hero is going to have a little bit of a similar playstyle of his own. He does have the Mucus Discharge, another healing ability, and healing abilities in Dawn of War are actually relatively rare. Gives you on-the-field sustain, which again is not that common in Dawn of War. Not every commander has it, and more commanders don't have it than do. but it's certainly a relatively unique strength of the Plague Champion. Chaos Space Marines will benefit the most from it, which again is part of why you see this, why you double Chaos Space Marine is a little more viable with the Plague Champion than other Chaos Heroes in 1v1 games. 3v3 games, you can practically do whatever you want. Double Catachan build, oh my god, these aggressive Catachans! Aggressive Catachan, so it does look like Toilailee did rebuy the Sergeant, so he can... Man, I mean, that's amazing that he was actually able to just push Dark Hero off with this aggressive Catachan Devil build. And there are a lot of things I like about this. We've got the grenade launcher. In general, I don't think that this is overall the best weapon upgrade for the Lord General, but I personally think it's the most fun because you can do that aggressive movement with your squads. With Catachan Devils, it's particularly entertaining because the idea there... Wow! And using the IDs to burn down the generators, not burn them down, just to destroy them. The idea here with the double Catachan Devils with the grenade launcher is actually the melee threat of them. Maybe not necessarily just the melee threat, but they can actually rush into melee. I guess more likely, more so than the melee, is rushing in with shotgun blast so you get that disruption. And you're just knocking squads on their feet, off their feet rather. Enemy squads off their feet. As a way of winning the fight. So it's an interesting playstyle, a fun playstyle. It also kind of counters what Dark Hero has gone for here. Dark Hero decided to get double Chaos Space Marines and double grenade launcher heretics. Committed to making both of his heretic squads grenade launcher heretics. And by getting the upgrades on both the heretics as well as... Oh, I thought he had... Yeah, he's got Eternal War on 2 Chaos Space Marines. So he actually has put a lot of power investment into these squads. With all the power investment that he put into these squads, he actually could have afforded a tier 1.5 unit, even if it was like a 5th squad. And there are some reasons why I think that might have been a good idea. Maybe something like Noise Marines, perhaps. Havocs might struggle a little bit into the double Catachan Devil. But Noise Marines, I think, might not be too bad. In fact, I think Noise Marines would probably be the best choice, since Raptors would also struggle into the double Catachan Devils. Yeah, but basically... Toilailee is able to rush with the Catachan Devils. That's what I'm basically looking for here. Whether he's shotgun blasting or whether he's getting into melee, he can rush Dark Hero. And double Chaos Space Marines, heretics with grenade launchers, as well as even a Plague Champion, can't actually do a whole lot to slow down that rush, which I think is part of the reason why we actually see this turret here. Because that's the only thing that Dark Hero really has that really can slow down that rush, especially if we're going to see healing go off on these Catachan Devils. Some of the Catachan Devils will get knocked back. Okay, Catachan Devils at this point might be overstaying their welcome. Okay, so they do finally decide to get out of there. Chaos Space Marines will look and see if they can get any model kills whatsoever. Do we have not a single model kill yet? They're still in retreat, still taking damage, but my god, if they don't take a single model kill on this, my god, they're not going to take... Even Dark Heroes, like, not even a single model. Which may seem ridiculous, but I do think it is kind of an overall pattern for, just like Toilailee is saying, they're typical for Catachan Devils. Catachan Devils are a squad that, for whatever reason, I don't recall if it's something specific in the way that they're coded, that they're generally a squad that's not actually going to start losing models until they're actually very close to battle, for whatever reason that is. So, we are going to be getting into Tier 2, and... Toilailee going for the Ogrins, and considering what I've said so far about Toilailee's style of play, I think that's actually pretty much an extremely logical choice. He's already kind of overrunning, Dark Hero and taking advantage of Dark Hero's build. And this is something that takes advantage of it even more and makes it a lot harder for Dark Hero to do anything until Dark Hero actually gets some kind of upgrade. Now, the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines would actually be an answer to that. Will we get a second Tzeentch? We're going to get second Tzeentch right away. Now, this is, in one sense, Dark Hero is getting a very good blind counterpick on Toilailee in that he just blindly upgraded to get two things that would actually do a very good job at countering the Ogrins. However, I think it was incredibly bold, because if Toilailee had actually gone for something like a Chimera, Dark.Hero would have screwed himself by getting these upgrades now. Because that would have been a lot of resources dumped into something that are not going to be effective enough against a Chimera. So, honestly, Dark.Hero got really, really lucky there. It might even just be something where maybe he kind of read Toilailee's build and kind of figured that this was most likely. Now, that being said, Dark.Hero has plenty of damage against the Ogrins. He still doesn't have enough control. So, in one sense, the Mark of Tzeentch is correct. But at the moment, it's actually still not really enough. Toilailee, and Toilailee is even getting the flank on the heavy bolter turret. So if he can take out the turret, then Dark.Hero is pretty much defenseless. He's going to buy time with the old reliables so that the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines can't do the damage. Unfortunately for Toilailee, he's not taking out the turret as fast as he needs to. Okay, he's going to activate, I believe that's incoming. No, stand firm. Incoming is another one. Immune to suppression. That being said, oh, he actually lost the Catachan Devil Squad. Oh no. Toilailee kind of playing with his food at this point. Might even lose the second Catachan Devils. I don't think... No, he will lose the second Catachan Devils there. Can he inflict any losses in return? I don't think he'll finish off the Heretic Squad, but it is kind of close. Down to one model. And he did actually kill... I believe there was a kill on the Plague Champion, but the Plague Champion has since been repurchased. Ogrins are still in here and managed to get out with their Bonehead leader. Very important. Of course, generally, Ogrin models are expensive, but the Bonehead leader is extra expensive, so of all the models, you don't want to lose that one. Technically, that holds true for, you know, pretty much any squad that can actually lose its leader without the entire squad dying, but I think particularly true for Ogrins compared to, say, Tax or Chaos Space Marines, since the Ogrins are both a bit tougher as well as more expensive. So, double cap still for Toilailee, but losing those double Catachan Devils is going to hurt him a bit. And we're seeing a lot of resources also pumped into Lord General. We do see the Stand Firm, granting him that suppression immunity. Yeah, I mean, that play by Toilailee was actually quite greedy, especially if he had Stand Firm. It actually made it so that the flank behind the turret was not actually that necessary, because he could have just approached the turret from the front and then just fought the rest of Dark.Hero's army instead of trying to hard commit to take out the turret. And he would have won against Dark.Hero's army. Heavy weapon team now coming out, though, for Toilailee. Heavy weapon team is kind of a puzzling one. Don't think it does that well to double grenade launcher heretics. Heavy weapon team won't get knocked back once the refractor field is up, but I think as long as the two grenade launcher heretics make sure they're not getting suppressed at the same time, or if something like the Plague Champion or the Chaos Space Marines are drawing out the suppression, I think the double grenade launcher heretics can actually force off the heavy weapon team without too much trouble. Chaos Dreadnought out on the field for Dark.Hero. So we'll probably just see an upgrade on the heavy weapon team to not even be a heavy bolter anyway. Wouldn't mind an autocannon here, but of course, las cannon is just the more straightforward answer to the vehicle. But I say I wouldn't mind the las cannon because, I wouldn't mind the autocannon because aside from putting pressure on the Dreadnought, I think it would also do quite well against the heretics when I was just talking about how the heretics would otherwise be good at countering the heavy weapon team. Alright. Sentinel also going to have to move back. Now that we've got Tzeentch on the Chaos Space Marines, and both of these Chaos Space Marines also fully upgraded. Both level 2, both with Eternal War, both with the Mark of Tzeentch, and also both with an Aspiring Champion. The Sentinel is going to have an extremely tough time doing anything. If Toilailee is going to keep the Sentinel alive, I think he should get the Missile Launcher, and he certainly has the resources for it. Missile Launcher... Yeah, honestly, the Missile Launcher is just straight up way better in this situation. Toilailee, though. He might even lose the Ogrins. He's going to be super lucky to get the Ogrins out alive, but even then, oh my god, it's so close. 20 hit points, 16, and they do get out alive, but reinforcing those models will be expensive. I think he was intending, yes. I mean, he had a fully upgraded Lord General at some point, but of course part of the issue with fully upgrading the Lord General is that you can lose the retinue members. They're not that tanky. So he actually did have a Vox Operator, but he actually lost the Vox Operator. Heavy? No, that's not a heavy turret. That's just going to be a Leman Russ. Leman Russ should move back up a little bit. Don't take the melee hits from the Chaos Dreadnought. Okay, so Toilailee is actually content to just give up the Sentinel. Like, even just this move of him moving it forward, this shows that he's pretty much content to give up the Sentinel. Or is he? Like, I thought the way he was moving it forward, I think he still loses it. My god, he actually gets it out alive, so maybe he didn't want to give it up. But otherwise, that was incredibly bold, moving right up to double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, which should just melt it. And he's moving it back, which means he doesn't want to give it up. But, yeah, I did try to say, like, at this point, like, if Toilailee wants to continue to get value out of the Sentinel, I think he honestly really needs to put a missile launcher on it. Because the Sentinel in its multi-laser form is it even a multi-laser? Or is it, I mean, it just looks like a singular one. But anyway, in its default form, with the Las weapon, it's very much a low DPS sustained damage weapon. However, upgrading it to the missile launcher turns it into a burst damage unit. And you can't have a Sentinel doing sustained damage to Chaos Space Marines, otherwise you will lose it. But you can have a missile launcher Sentinel walk up, shoot a volley, and then walk back while taking hardly any damage from the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. So, we'll see. Yeah, there it is, finally. There it is. Because it's like, I feel like the only two choices for Toilailee are literally upgrade this to a missile launcher or suicide. So Plague Marine's now out for Toilailee. Just kidding, I meant Dark.Hero. We're going to commit to a fight right here. The Sentinel is moving up. Sentinel, my god, is moving up so close, though. Sentinel does not have to be this close. Ogren's nearly dying in that engagement. And Dark.Hero is managing to push him back. The Leman Russ is now isolated. It is in quite a bit of trouble. I think there's a decent chance that Leman Russ dies here. There might be enough pressure. No, the heavy weapon team needs to move back because there's so much pressure on it. Okay, the Lord General actually takes the pressure off of the Leman Russ by tying up the Plague Marines, but that's going to cost it every single one of its retinue members. Or cost him every single one of his retinue members. Just to get my pronouns right. Anyway, Dark.Hero is going to be moving up. For the first time in the game, he might actually have an opportunity for a generator bash. I mean, we've got the Bile Spewer. I feel like this is late. But I feel like part of the... My best guess is actually he maybe wanted something to control the Ogrins. But then why not just get the Plague Fist? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we're going to see there's the Vox Operator calling in reinforcements to reinforce both the Ogrins and the heavy weapon team. Okay, Ogrins will lead the charge. They want to look for, ideally, the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines or the Plague Marines. Instead, they're going to go for the Dreadnought. Yeah, that's going to be a little rough for them. So Ogrins are forced off the field. I believe they were also knocked back, perhaps by a grenade barrage from the Heretics. And finally, it's been a double cap for Dark.Hero actually for a little while now, but he's still behind in VPs by a good 200. And yet, we're going to see more autocannons. This coming out of Dark.Hero. That means he's actually got a lot of units out on the field, and he's getting another half. More units than will fit in the unit panel. You know, at some point, I think it might even just be... Well, Dark.Hero is actually... Double Havocs. Double Havocs. What is he going to go for here? I was just about to say a double autocannon. I had a feeling he was going to go double autocannon. It's actually a lot of damage. Part of me was saying, maybe at this point, like, if he's... Maybe at this point it might even be worth it to put Mark of Tzeentch on the Dreadnought. But, I had a feeling he was going to go for double Mark of Khorne. It's actually a huge amount of damage. More so against infantry, and then actually still quite good against vehicles, too. We're going to get 31.25 on each, so about a little bit over 60 overall. That's quite good, honestly. Against infantry, that will absolutely wreck. And the Leman Russ needs to respect it as well. No snare, though, on the Leman Russ. That's a little bit rough for the heavy weapon team. I think it gets out alive. Yeah, it does get out alive. Maybe I'm wrong. I might have jinxed it. No, it does. 7 hit points there. And the Leman Russ is under threat. The Plague Marines serving their purpose. Clearly, in this composition, the purpose of the Plague Marines is not damage, and Plague Marines, in general, a little bit lower on the DPS side as far as anti-vehicle units. But they do contribute that snare. This is incredibly bold by Toilailee. He's walking into double autocannon Havocs. He might not have actually known that it was double autocannon Havocs until now, but, I mean, this just hail of fire is enough to keep Toilailee out of there. And we can see that Toilailee been playing with his food a little bit in this game. Aside from, you know, some of the greedy plays we saw early on, he is going for a Bane Blade. It is the Bane Blade. To quote a wonderful captain named Diomedes. So the Bane Blade is quite interesting. In most cases, you know, in a 1v1 game, I think it's probably more optimal. Or I don't think optimal is really a word you should be able to modify with more. You'd probably just say optimal. It's probably more like a binary thing. But it's probably optimal to go for double Leman Russ instead of waiting for the Bane Blade. But you know what? This isn't a tournament game, so they're doing what they want. They're just playing around, experimenting. May not necessarily be the most serious game, but these are some of the best all-time players in the game. Now, if we do actually want to think a little logically about it, and actually talk about what are some of the advantages of the Bane Blade. You get that Demolisher Cannon, which actually does knockback and burst damage, and that is actually something that could be very good for dislodging one of the Havocs, and then that would take the pressure off both of the Leman Russ and the Bane Blade. Half of it, at least. Oh, well, yeah, no. For a second, I thought we had triple Havocs, but, you know, Havocs and Chaos Space Marines kind of look alike there. Turns out this was just a Tzeentch Chaos Space Marine squad. Toilailee Dark-Hero going to hold on to the double cap for the moment, but the Bane Blade is moving forward. Dreadnought has been upgraded to a Mark of Khorne and is mostly just on back-capping protection. This is basically just to deny potential backcaps. Actually, just going to move him out, and let's stop talking about that, and let's just look at this fight. Oh no, Dark-Hero realized he doesn't have what he needs here to deal with the approach of the Bane Blade as well as the Leman Russ, while the Ogrins and the Lord General actually catch them on the flank. So I love the aggressive use of the Lord General. Typically think of the Lord General as more of a defensive commander. I think the game also classifies him as like either a defense or a support commander. In this case, he would still be functioning as a support, since his main role in that flank is not that the Lord General is such a great flanker himself, but to empower the Ogrins. So the grenade launcher is also a big part of what enables that aggressive play compared to other Lord General builds, which will probably be a little bit more defensive. Okay, Bane Blade is going to be moving back up. Demolisher can also, like, if Dark-Hero continues to bunch up these double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines when they're not even at full health, Demolisher Cannon also something that is going to absolutely ruin their day. My god, the flank, though, by Dark-Hero. What a madman coming in with the Tzeentch, with the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. I think that was a little over-ambitious, but he might pick up a Leman Russ out of this. No, one of the Havocs is going to go down for Dark-Hero. The other one's going to go down, too. Both Havocs are done for Dark-Hero. What is this going to be? It should be another Noxious Cloud, I think. But the Leman Russ might just go down. Indeed, it does. The Ogren's going to take out the Plague Champion as well. Alright, so when the dust settles, Toilailee will take back another double cap. Just loving that after all these years, we're still working hard to not only make sure that Dawn of War 2 itself does not die, but that the Dawn of War memes don't die either.
You are losing us a victory point.
So what does Val.Hero doesn't have much left. He lost his Zinch Chaos Space Marine squad, and it was a leveled squad. He's still got one level 3 squad. He doesn't have much of an answer to the Ogrins at this point. They do. There is just so much damage. Well, no, once they get in melee with the Zinch squad, there isn't so much damage anymore. And we're actually going to go for it. Well, we're calling down another Lehman Russ. I was going to say double Lehman Russ, but the other one died, so it's still actually only one Lehman Russ. Baneblade, though, is going to capture, just going to guard the middle, and at this point, it's looking like this is going to be the end of the game here. Val.Hero just does not have enough in his remaining army to actually finish. Oh, he overwatched the Havocs. He overwatched the Havocs. It was not intentional for him to get multiple. I thought it was intentional because Val.Hero sometimes actually does do those things. Going for double autocannon Havocs very much would strike me as a Val.Hero thing. But that's going to be it. This was not the most serious game, and Toilailee was the one who sent me this replay, and he said as much. But again, these are two of the all-time best players, and it was fun to watch. It was high-level play. It was a little sloppy and a little greedy at times, again, which is to be expected from a match that isn't too serious. Very entertaining nonetheless. I enjoyed it quite a bit myself. I hope you did, and I hope you have a good night.